if you start to feel and think, and you might have to take more drugs or alcohol to cover up that pain. I mean, I was sexually abused as a child. It wasn't by my dad, but it was through someone known to the family. And as an adult, I know I was the innocent party. But as a child, I knew what he was doing was wrong.
And you felt guilty.
I felt so guilty, yeah. And by the time I got to 13, 14, you know, I was drinking off and on. Not all the time, I was only a kid. But, you know, I'd be sneaking beer from Dad's glass. In fact, I remember one of my very first drinks. I was sitting in a chair. My dad was in a chair next to me. Between us there was a table. And Dad would always have those old 2 litre flagons, glass bottles. And we noticed as children that when Dad finished off what he brought home with him, he'll go to bed. And he'll fall asleep in his chair and we'll start sneaking a glass here and there. And as like a 9, 10-year-old, 2 or 3 glasses of beer will make me feel really nice. And I remember thinking, but when he woke up, he'd finish what was left and go to bed. I saved the family some peace of mind because he wouldn't have as much to drink because he wouldn't remember how much was left in his flagon. So that's how I started drinking, my earliest memories. And by the time I was 14 years old and one day, I was locked away in a psychiatric hospital for children for 6 weeks, classified as an alcoholic. And I wasn't a daily drinker, but I had been picked up drunk and disorderly at the Parnell pools on the Auckland waterfront. And I had been also suspended from school that year for drinking. I was 13 years old. And alcohol just took the pain away. It made me feel normal. I felt like when I was drinking, I had emotions. I actually felt normal. I have forgiven myself now. I mean, I have to. You know, I mean, that would have just set me back to drink most probably if I don't forgive myself. Addiction is progressive. Like when I didn't drink for all that 10 years, there's something that kind of goes on in the brain that's still working overtime. So when I picked up, it was like I had never stopped drinking for all those 10 years. Something inside me just snapped. And I thought, I don't care what happens to me anymore. I may as well be having sex for money. There's no logic to it. Sounds a bizarre statement. I went up to K Road and I relapsed that night. I'd been clean for about 5 months at the time. And I got drunk on elephant beer. Oh, yuck. But I wasn't drunk. I still remember a lot what I was doing, but it gave me more of the guts to be able to go and sell myself. I didn't know what the charges were, but all I knew was I needed to wear condoms. And I got myself some condoms, and my first client was a Scotsman. And because I didn't know what to charge him, he gave me $60. It turns out I should have asked for at least $80 at the time. Within a week or two, I had a friend who was a prostitute. She told me what the charges were. And so I was aware that there was a God. And in fact, when I was prostituting, there were times I said, God, please plug your ears and close your eyes, because I felt guilty. But, and also, I didn't know until I was an adult that I was classified, when Mum was pregnant with me, she was, 8 to 10 weeks pregnant, and she'd lost a lot of blood. When Mum got to the hospital, they said to her, we've had 6 miscarriages tonight, you're number 7. And so I look on it now as a Christian, I believe that God had my hand on me way back then. I mean, it was the next day when they said, Mrs. Major, I found a heartbeat, I was still there. She said, you'll never forget that. Before I was a Christian, I didn't have a hope like I have today. I have people in my life who love me. people who can trust me. People can rely on me to do things. And so I know there are people out there, even right at this minute, who know I'm doing this, who think, how can you do something so humiliating and share your story? You know, it doesn't care. If it stops one woman, one man going down the track I went down, you know, it's worth it. I know what God saved me from. I look at some of my heroes in life, William and Catherine Booth, the founder of the Salvation Army. I mean, it was the Salvation Army it was the rehab I went into. Where would we be if it wasn't for them today? I mean, many girls say, I'm going to not do this tomorrow. But maybe they've already got that chronic addiction. You need the drugs to do what you're doing, but you've got to prostitute to get the drugs. I could not do it without a support network. And I'm lucky I've had some great support. Firstly from the Salvation Army Bridge program in Mount Eden. They helped me with the drinking part of it. My church friends. And you can't do it by yourself. For me, I don't know how people can do it without the help of God. God has been my main salvation. I just could not believe that the government could be so dumb. They're legalising something that destroys people. It's never going to be a normal lifestyle. And every country that I've heard overseas that's legalised it, it just got worse and worse. Why would New Zealand be any different? And we look 2011. You look out in the South Auckland streets and that, you got all these underage kids doing it. Okay, that is illegal, but it's made it easier for them. Petition our government. Our government did not listen to the people. They don't have to be stuck in the industry. There is hope out there.